Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing a crochet kit that I got from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are going to be doing a stitch Santa. I got this from Five Below. This is a viewer request. If you would like to make a request, leave a comment below. If you don't want to wait for me to find the kit, go ahead and send me a clear image of the instructions and I might be able to help you. So let's get straight into this. We already did the Halloween stitch. Now we're doing a Santa stitch. It's going to come with a plastic needle, a crochet hook, some spools of yarn, felt stickers, stuffing, and then we have the instructions. So this is all by Innovative Designs LLC. This came around after Halloween and before Christmas packs. I want to say it came around the time of the Grinch ones, so hopefully the instructions are not too bad. Here's the stuffing. Here are the spools of yarn. It's a fairly interesting yarn. It's kind of plushy. You know, it's not like the typical yarn. And then we have this. For the Halloween box, I ran out of yarn and ended up taking from the regular stitch box. So hopefully there's enough in this one. But we have the abbreviations instructions and then another sheet with the regular instructions. Due to copyright, I won't be showing the instructions or going into detail with them. This video is only a supplement to the kit. If you'd like to make this, I highly recommend that you go either on their website or at their store to get this kit. What I do in this video is do new stitches at least 3 times, step by step, and then I show you how to read the instructions, and then if there's anything weird that needs to be explained, and then of course we do assembly together. I want to put this back in the box so we don't lose any of these pieces here. Let's see, we're going to start with the blue, so I'm going to leave that out. And I'm going to open this pouch here, and we're just going to get that crochet hook. Okay, and I'm going to keep everything else inside. There's the plastic needle. Alright, but we're going to get straight into this. So we're going to have to undo this wad of yarn here. Not a fan of this, but this is how they pack them, so we just gotta, you know, figure it out. Okay, and then this might actually be harder to, it's so plushy, I don't think I'm going to find the middle, so it's going to be like this, unfortunately. But we're going to go straight into doing the magic ring. So take your yarn and we're going to wrap it around our finger 3 times like this with a little bit of overage to put your middle finger right on it. You can take this opportunity to straighten out your strands, tighten them up or loosen them up as you need it, because we're going to put this hook right under the 3 strands like this, and then we're going to pull this out, pulling this strand underneath these 2. So just hook that yarn, twist the hook sideways so you can slip it under these 2 strands without getting caught. Then we're going to yarn over, which is putting the feeder yarn over the hook. And we're going to pull this through that strand. And then you can let go of your middle finger and then remove the rings off your index. So now you can hold your project. Let's get some feeder yarn here. We're going to have the excess piece on the right, the rings in the middle, and then the feeder yarn on the left. So let me show you how to do single crochet stitches. We're going to stick our hook into the ring. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, so we have 2 loops. We're going to yarn over again and pull through those 2 loops. Let's do this again. Stick your hook into the rings. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. One more time, you guys. Into the rings, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So right now we're looking at 3 single crochet stitches. If we look at it from the top, it looks like a braid. If we look at it at the front, we have the loops here. Those are front loops, and then we have the loops back here. Those are back loops. So now we're going to take this opportunity to finish the remaining single crochet stitches. You can rewind this video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing the single crochet stitches on your own. I forgot to mention, I think if you click on the gear button in the corner, there's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, you can lower the volume on your device and click on the CC closed caption button. But I'm going to go along and just finish the remaining single crochet stitches on this ring. Okay, and once I finish that, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to overhand my hook. I'm going to hold the stitches down here, but I'm not going to hold it too tight. I want it just to stabilize the project. I'm going to put all my feeder yarn up and away. What we're going to do is pull on this excess piece. We want to see which one of these loops goes in first. So pull this slowly and then stop pulling once you see which loop is going in first. Okay, so this one back here went in first. What we're going to do is pull this side out. So take this side here and we're going to start pulling it out, and then you're going to see this other loop start to go in. So you want to pull on this side until the other loop is completely gone into the magic ring. Okay. Then we're going to get rid of this loop by pulling on this excess piece here. So pull on that until that loop is completely gone into the magic ring. You might still have a little hole there, but to make sure you get every bit of that yarn out, we're going to pull in the opposite direction and a little up. You're going to feel it move just a little bit. You don't have to pull it any more than that. But now we have a completely closed magic ring. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these stitch markers. They're not included in your kit, but they should. These are pretty basic tools that you can use while crocheting. They're going to help you keep track of your stitch count as well as your row count. And how we put these on is we're going to slip this underneath the front and back loops. And you want to make sure that you make a nice clean pass through. You can pull this open and see if it's a nice clear pass through. You don't want to pierce through the yarn because that's going to make it messy and hard to remove if you need to remove it. But we're going to move on to the next round. So in the next round, we're going to introduce a new stitch called the increasing stitch. And that basically is taking one of these stitches here and doing 2 single crochet stitches in them. So what we're going to do is from the stitch marker, we're going to count back the number of stitches required for round 1. So once you count that, you want to put your hook into that last stitch, and then we're going to work on round 2, the increasing stitch. So again, 2 single crochet stitches in this one stitch. So let's do 1 single crochet stitch, and then stick your hook into that same stitch and then do another 1, 2. So I don't know if you can see it, but out of this one stitch here, we have 2 single crochet stitches coming out of it. So let's do this again. Put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Stick your hook into that same stitch. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Alright, so one more time with you guys. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here. So 1, and here's the second one into the same stitch. Alright, so now we've completed 3 increasing stitches. I'm just going to go now and complete the remaining increasing stitches. You can rewind this video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing increasing stitches on your own. Alright, so once we're all the way around, I'm going to remove my stitch marker and I'm going to replace it under the last stitch we made. So slip it just under the front and back loops. Make sure that it clears it. Okay, and then we're going to close this up and we're going to start round 3. So this is going to be for the next four rounds. So what we're working with is a parenthesis, and how it works is we do all the instructions inside the parenthesis and then it tells us to repeat it however many times. The second set of parentheses at the end of the instructions are pretty much the stitch count. So after every round, just count how many stitches you have and make sure it adds up to the same number of stitches at the end of each round. If you're off by plus or minus a few stitches, you know that somewhere in that round there must have been some mistake. Okay. So for round 3, let's focus on the first set of parentheses. We're going to do single crochet stitches and increasing stitches. So let's do that now. Okay, so once you've done that, I'm just going to repeat this the number of times that it tells you to. Okay, and once we're all the way around, we're going to replace the stitch marker under the last stitch we made, and then we're going to do round 4. So like I said, round 4, 5, and 6 are pretty much the same idea of doing the parenthesis and then repeating it however many times the instructions tell you to do. So what I'm going to do is the next 3 rounds, and then I'm going to pop back in to round 7 and we're going to talk about how to do that. So in the middle of this though, I think we might start seeing our project curl inward, which is natural, either for the next 3 rounds or the next rounds after. I'm going to eventually flip this inside out because right now the way we're looking at it, this is the right side and this is the wrong side. The wrong side you can tell because there's a piece of excess piece just sticking out, which is kind of unsightly. Plus the stitches are not that visible on here, so that's another way to tell. But we gotta just invert this and flip it inside out so that you don't see that side and you just see this one. Alright, so I'm going to do the next 3 rounds in silence. Alright, so I completed round 6. We're doing round 7 now. So we're basically doing single crochet stitches and we're stuffing as we go. I gotta check out the nose because we're doing a magic ring for the nose. I like to do all the details before we stuff. So anyways, I'm gonna do rounds 7 through 12 first, and then we'll see about stuffing or not. So if this is 7, I'm gonna use my stitch markers. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I know that we're doing the same instruction for these amount of rows, and I just gotta use all of them up. So we'll come back in at row 13. I actually can see that they're having us change to light blue. So what's gonna happen is at round 12, the last one, I'm not gonna do the last single crochet stitch because I'm gonna show you how to transition to light blue. Alright, so I completed round 7 through 12. I didn't do the last single crochet stitch like I said. So what I'm going to do now is pull this hook to make this loop very long and then remove the hook. This is to prevent this you from losing your stitch. And you can set this project aside for now. I'm going to go in and grab the light blue. I think it's more like green than blue. Okay. I'm going to undo this. This yarn is really cute and somewhat plushy, but at the same time, it's really wiry. Okay, I'm going to show you how to set this up. Casting on with the slip knot. So, take your yarn, your ring, pinky, and thumb, hold one end. Then take your index and middle and hold the other end. Then we're going to take our hook and lie it perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to create a loop around this hook. We can slide the hook up and down, slide it down towards your thumb, take your middle finger and just hold it where it crosses. Let go of your left hand and gather up some feeder yarn. We're going to re-pinch the end as low as you can go without losing it, and then pull your hook closer to your thumb, and where it crosses we're just going to pinch it so we can no longer slide our hook up and down. We're going to yarn over and pull this through the loop, then overhand the hook, re-pinch the end there and slide the knot towards the thumb. And once you get to a stopping point, you can take your thumb and middle finger and just pull out that excess piece to tighten up the knot, and then slide your knot close to the hook. You want to leave some space so that we can slide this off. For now, pick up your project, put your hook back into that large loop, and then pull on the feeder yarn to make that loop shorter. We're now going to start the last single crochet stitch with this yarn here. Stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, so we have 2 loops. I'm going to take my ring and pinky and just hold this feeder yarn out of the way. We're going to slip this light blue onto the hook, gather up some feeder yarn, and we're going to pull this through these 2 loops here to transition to the light blue. Alright, so then I can take this stitch marker and then slip it underneath the last stitch we made. Let me go ahead to see if we are changing colors again. Okay, we're not, so I'm going to cut about 1 inch or so, and then we're going to tie this around the light blue twice, very loosely. We just want it secure so you don't lose any of your stitches. And then you can tuck this in here as well as this one. And then we can continue on our way. Let's remove these stitch markers here. So we're going to work on round 13. And we have a set of parentheses. We're going to be doing single crochet stitches and then introducing a new stitch, the decreasing stitch. So I'll show you how to do that. And gather up some feeder yarn here. Alright, first let's do our single crochet stitches. All right, and then I'm gonna teach you how to do a decreasing stitch. So a decreasing stitch is pretty much the opposite of an increasing. We're gonna take 2 single crochet stitches and turn it into 1. So stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then you're going to put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So if you can see closely, we took 2 single crochet stitches and we made 1 stitch. So now I'm just going to repeat this parenthesis again, and I'll show you how to do a decreasing stitch again. So let's do our single crochet stitches. Alright, and then we're going to do a decreasing stitch. So stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So we took 2 single crochet stitches and we have 1 stitch out of it. Alright, let's repeat this parenthesis again, and then I'm going to show you how to do a decreasing stitch one more time. So do your single crochet stitches. Alright, stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. Stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have 3 loops now on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So now that I've shown you how to do this 3 times, go ahead and you can repeat this part of the video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing the decreasing stitch on your own. But I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of this round. Right, and then we're going to replace the stitch marker under the last stitch we made. Okay. Then for round 14, we have a set of instructions here. I want to show you how to do this one and then the next 2 after. I'm going to do in silence, but this time we're doing single crochet stitches and decreasing stitches. And there are a few things that you need to know when doing the decreasing stitches as you get smaller. Just detangling this here. Okay, again, I don't know, I'm going to get to a point where I can't fit my hand inside the cavity anymore before I decide if I am doing the nose, because we have to sew that piece on there, and it's easier to hide knots inside the head before stuffing it. After stuffing and it's sealed, you have to kind of do some trickery to to hide those knots. Okay, so let me gather up this. All right, so let's focus on this parenthesis. We're going to do single crochet stitches first. and then we're going to do decreasing stitches. So one tip about decreasing stitches is you want to make sure that this first loop here stays the same size, because when we're stretching across 2 stitches, there's a tendency to pull, and this is going to make that loop longer, but then you're going to have like a large gap as a stitch. So if you keep this loop not tight but close to tight, you'll make that stitch look normal. And another thing that you can do is flatten your project. So you can work around like this when you're doing single crochet stitches, but when you're doing a double, you just want to make it flat so that it's easier to kind of squish. So let's do our decreasing stitch. I'm going to try to keep this loop small. And another trick is to insert your hook in, but not try to put it too far in. You only need a little bit to hook your yarn and pull it through. So the shorter the distance you insert your hook, the less likely you're stretching your loops. So the other thing you can do is hold on to these loops to make sure that they're not getting bigger in size. So now that we've completed this, you see that it's now being pulled. If this loop was large, you'd see a huge gap right there. And right now, it's all right. It's not that huge. All right, so I'm going to continue the rest of this parenthesis all the way around. Replace the stitch marker. And let me just detangle this. So again, I'm going to do the next 2 rows off camera. I think I gotta try doing those 2 rows before I put on the nose, because it looks like the nose is sitting right at the line of where the dark blue and light blue meet, and I just need a little bit more so that I can like sew this on without any issues. So after this head, I'm just going to quickly do up the nose with you guys, And we're going to sew that on together. Again, you just want to be able to sew as much as you can beforehand. I'm just detangling this. This is why I don't really like how they do these. You could just do this from the beginning. I just do it as I go and hope for the best. Sometimes you don't have to go through all this, but this yarn is pretty difficult. I might, if I have time, I might even do the ears, because we have to sew them onto the head as well. Alright, so I'm going to do the next 2 rows in silence. Alright, this isn't too bad. It's not ideal, but I do want to make sure I have enough rounds here to sew the nose. So back in, it says that we have to do a slip stitch at the end of round 16. So let me teach you how to do that. So stick your hook into the next stitch. All right, then we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all the loops off of our hook. So that's a slip stitch. So we're going to fasten this off so we don't have to work with this hook while we're doing all the detail work, but we do need a tail to sew for later. So this is what I like to do. I like to go around the perimeter of this hole here twice, very generously, and then we're going to cut this, and that's going to be the amount you'll need to sew your head on to the body probably. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through the loop all the way out, and then we're going to tighten this loop by pulling on that excess tail, and then we're good to go. Right, so we've got the head done. This is not bad. The other stitch was huge and we ran out of yarn, but we still have a ways to go, so let's hope for the best. All right, so let's do now let's get the dark blue. Okay, we're gonna do the nose. Unravel this. It doesn't look like we get much of this, so hopefully this will be enough. All right, so we're going to start with the magic ring. So wrap this around your finger 3 times with a little bit of overage to put your middle finger on here. Straighten up and tighten or loosen your strands as you need it. Take your crochet hook and slip it under the 3 strands. We're going to pull this back and drag this strand underneath these 2. Right? Then we're going to yarn over and pull this through that loop. And now we can let go of our middle finger and slip the rings off of our index. Alright, so for our first stitches, we are doing a parenthesis of single crochet stitches and half double crochet stitches. So let me show you how to do those. We're going to do our single crochet stitch first. Alright, so now for the half double crochet stitch, you want to yarn over. We're going to put our hook into the rings. Then we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and that's a half double crochet stitch. So now we have to repeat the parentheses, so do your single crochet stitches. And then I'm going to show you how to do a half double crochet again. So yarn over, stick your hook into the magic rings, yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through those 3 loops, and that's a half double crochet stitch. Now let's repeat this parenthesis one more time. So do your single crochet stitches, and then we're going to do a half double crochet stitch. So yarn over, put your hook into the rings, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Alright, so now I'm going to overhand my hook. We're going to hold the stitches down here, not too tight, just enough to stabilize it. I'm going to hold back the feeder yarn with my middle finger. We're going to pull this right here and see which one of these loops is going to move first. So pull it, identify the loop, and then stop pulling. Whichever one is going in first, you're going to pull this end out and you're going to watch the other loop go in as you're pulling. Okay, so keep pulling that till you see it gone into the magic ring. And then we're going to get rid of this loop by pulling on the excess piece, pulling that. Right, till that's completely gone. You might have a little hole left. So pull in the opposite direction and up. You're going to feel it move just a little bit more. And then we have closed this ring entirely. Let's see. And that's pretty much the round. So we have to do a slip stitch. Count the number of stitches required for this round. Stick your hook into the last stitch of this round. And then we're going to do a slip stitch. Alright, and again to do that, we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all the loops. Alright, so then we have to fasten off and we need enough yarn to sew around. So again, wrap this around the size of the nose twice. And then we're going to cut this off. Okay. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through the loop all the way out. And then we're going to tighten this up by pulling on the tail. And then we're going to sew this on. So take out your plastic needle. I'm going to thread this up and I'm going to look for the prettier side. So we know that the stitch markers had gone up here, so the good side would probably be this side. And we're going to sew this on here and it looks like it's right in the middle of these lines. So let's start sewing this. I'm going to make sure I make this magic ring excess piece. I'm going to spin it behind here so I can tuck this away when I'm sewing. You could also just cut it down, but I feel like this adds kind of like a stuffing to the nose, so you can keep it on there for that. And then we'll put this on here. Right, and then stitch away. And you can try to make this triangular if you can. Oh well. Okay, and then we're back to the other side. And go in here, flip this inside out. Then check out where you can tie your yarn. There's nothing really nearby, so I'm just gonna go in here and tie my knot. Then you can remove this and add this to the stuffing. So we've got our nose on here now. All right. So let me just check out the ears and see where they have that, because I think I might do the ears next. All right, the next steps anyway is to do the ears. So before we stuff, so that we can do the same tying and hiding before we stuff, I'm just gonna set this aside. We're gonna work on the ears, and we're gonna need the blue. I just gotta find the other end of the blue. All right. We have to make 2 outer blue ears and 2 inner purple ears. I'm gonna do one of each and then do the other pair off camera for video time's sake. So we have to do a cast on with a slip knot. So let me show you how to do this again. We're going to take our ring, pinky, and thumb and hold one end, and take our index and middle and hold the other. Put your hook perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to create a loop. Around our hook, we can slide our hook up and down. We want to slide it down towards the thumb. Take our middle finger and just hold it where it crosses. So we can let go of our left, gather some feeder yarn, repinch the end as low as we can go without losing it, and then slide your hook toward your thumb. Where it crosses, just pinch it so you can't move it up and down anymore. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this through the loop. And then I'm going to overhand the hook, repinch the end, and we're going to push this knot towards the thumb. Keep pushing it until you can't push it any longer. Then take your thumb and middle finger and pull out this excess piece. Oops, I actually ripped it. Hopefully it doesn't unravel. All right, slide the knot towards the hook, and then we're going to continue doing our first steps here. So you just want to hold on to the knot just to stabilize it. We're going to do chains, and chains is actually one of the basic stitches in crocheting. So all it is yarning over and pulling through the loop, and that's one chain. Each chain is made up of 3 loops. We have a loop on this side, a loop on this side. You turn it on its side or back, and you can see this back hump here. So let's do another one. Hold the knot. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull this through the loop. So now we have 2 chains, 1 loop here, 1 loop here. Turn it on its side, and you can see the loop in the back. All right, one more time with you guys. Yarn over, hold your chains here. We're going to pull this through the loop. So now we have 3 loops, a loop on this side, a loop on that side. Turn it on its side, and you have a hump in the back. All right, so let's just continue the rest of the chains that the instructions are calling for. And then once we get there, we're going to start crocheting second chain from the hook, and we're going to be doing an increasing stitch. So the reason why we do the second chain from the hook is because we're building the height of the row. So count 2 stitches from the hook, 1, 2. I'm going to stick my hook into the back hump. Okay, so stick your hook into the back hump here, and we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 1 into the same stitch, 2 to create an increasing stitch. Right, I did that in the back hump because when we look at this on top, we can see our braid. If we flip it upside down, we can still see our braid as well. So after we do increasing stitches, we have to do our single crochet stitches. So let's do that. Stick your hook into the back hump and do your single crochet stitches. All right, so from here, we have to do single crochet stitches, but we're going to put it all in one stitch. Okay, so this last one here, let's do our single crochet stitches. All right. So now we're just gonna go around to the underside. So this is good too. I mean, even if we made this pretty braid, but now we get to have 2 loops that we can work with, which is stronger than 1. So let's do our single crochet stitches. And then it says that we have to do a slip stitch. So go into let's see. I'm going to count back to see if I have the right number of stitches. Okay. So now I'm going to stick my hook into this stitch here, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. So after you do that, just count back to see if you have the right number of stitches. But we're going to complete round 2 now. So we're going to chain 1. This is going to build the height of the row. Okay? And it'll not be included as a single crochet stitch. All right, so now we have to do our increasing stitches. So let's do that. All right, and then we're going to do our single crochet stitches. And then we have increasing stitches. And then we're back to single crochet stitches. And then we have an increasing stitch. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick count to see if I have all my stitches. All right. So it doesn't really say. Let me just read ahead real quick. All right. So there is instruction after we do the purple one as well, but here are what I'm going to do. Pull this out all the way out here. I'm going to set this aside and then we're going to do the inner ear because we have to sandwich them and then do stitches together. So I'm going to do that with the blue. It doesn't say it, but that's what I'm kind of guessing it wants us to do. So let's go in and unravel this, and then we're going to work on the inner ear. Okay. So let's do one more cast on with the slip knot as the third time of showing you this. Take your ring, pinky, and thumb and hold one end. Take your index and middle and hold it apart. Put your hook perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to create a loop around our hook. We can slide it up and down. Slide it down towards your thumb. Take your middle finger and hold it where it crosses so that we can let go of our left and gather up some feeder yarn. Repinch the end here as low as you can go without losing it, and then pull your hook towards your thumb and pinch where it crosses so that you can no longer move it up and down. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull this through the loop. I'm going to then overhand my hook, repinch my end, and we're going to push this knot towards the thumb. So keep pushing till you can't push down any further. Then take the excess piece and pull that out just a little bit to make that knot tight, and then pull it towards the hook so that we can start our stitches. All right, I'm just going to hold it where the knot is, and then we're going to do our chains. Okay. Then we're going to start crocheting second chain from the hook like we did before, and we're going to do increasing stitches. So count 2 stitches from the hook to build the height, and we're going to use the back hump to make these stitches. All right, then we have to do our single crochet stitches. And then we're going to do our remaining single crochet stitches in the same stitch. Okay. Then we're just going to go continue crocheting on the other side, and we're going to be doing oh, this is a short one. Do our single crochet stitches. And then we have our slip stitch. So go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through all the loops off your hook. All right, so now for row 2, we're going to chain 1 for the height, and then we're going to do our increasing stitches. Then we're going to do our single crochet stitches. And then we're going to finish, do our increasing stitches. And then we're going to do our single crochet stitches. And then our increasing stitch. All right, so for this, since this is the inner one, I'm just going to cut about 1 inch or so and fasten this off, even though it doesn't say it. But we are sandwiching this in with the blue. So I would put the purple right on top of the blue. I want to put my hook back into this large loop and then tighten it up. And then we have to just do single crochet stitches together all the way around. Okay, so into the next stitch, I'm going to put into the purple as well as the blue, and we're going to do our single crochet stitches all the way around. I don't know. And then it says adjust the ears to shape more like Stitch's ears. I haven't really watched this in a long time, so I don't know. But what I'm going to do is, went all the way around. I'm going to slip stitch to this stitch. It doesn't say it, but it'll look cleaner if we do it. So stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through all the loops off your hook to make the slip stitch and see how it kind of completes it. So now what we're going to do is get some tail to sew onto the body. I'm not sure how much we're going to need. I mean, I guess I can wrap this around twice. I'm just worried about the amount of yarn I'll have left over. Okay, cut it. And then we're going to fasten this off. So yarn over, pull through the loop all the way out, and then tighten it up. So I guess the curl is like that. I mean, I don't know, but we're just gonna sew, I guess, this part to the head. I just gotta figure out where we're gonna do that. I mean, we could just sew on right above the light blue, but I'm gonna try to just check out the box and see what we have. But I'm gonna thread up this needle. And then check it out. All right, so yeah, I think I'm just gonna sew it on to right above, maybe 1 or 2 rows right above the light blue. I just want to make sure that I give myself the same number of stitches on each side. So 3, 6, let's say 9. Do I have 3, 6? Okay, 9. All right. So let's just, I'm just choosing 9 and 9. You don't have to. Okay, so at least got that attached, and then I think I'm going to try sewing a little bit above in the next row, and I'm going to try to grab you know, the upper parts of the ear so that it can be a little bit higher onto the head. See, is that enough? Okay. Then once that is attached, let's see, maybe I'll add a pinch here. You just have to give it a little look. Okay. Like this. And then we're going to go in here, turn this inside out. Then I'm going to pick a spot to tie my knot. All right. Then we can just remove this and tuck this into the head. So what I think we're gonna do is I'm gonna go and do the second ear and sew that on, and then we'll come back in and I'll stuff this. I'm gonna check to see how much time we have. I think we'll just have to stop here and do a part 2 because we'll have the body, arms, and legs, then the hat and the pom-pom left to do. But let's see how much time I have after this. Alright, so now I'm going to go in here and we're just going to stuff this. The eyes are stickers, so we really don't need to be in here. We could wait to sew the hat on, but I think we'll be able to just hide our knots with the hat. So, just going to do this now. Plus, I think it'll be easier to fit the hat on when you have the head already filled up to size. But I'm doing this in pieces in case I need to maneuver this around a little bit better. It's easier to manipulate this stuffing when it's in small pieces as opposed to one big clump. Okay. Let's have this a little bit more. And we're going to leave this as it is for now. But there you have it. Comment below. Let me know how it went for you. So when we come back, we're going to pick up where we left off and do the body. But so far, it's looking pretty cute. Alright, you guys, so thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know how it's going for you. If you have this, if you got it for Christmas, I think this is like the cutest thing. And I love the plushy yarn. It feels really nice. At any rate, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.